What up, y'all? This is your boy, Mr. Downtown Ray Mello, and you're listening to the Entertainment Report on iHeartRadio, live from Dubai for Wednesday, October 14th, 2015, delivering some major stories and trends going on in the world of entertainment and beyond. You can follow the show on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, facebook.com/The Entertainment Report with Ray Mello, that's RAYMELO, on Twitter at The Enter Report, or on Instagram at The Entertainment Report. You can listen to the show anytime you want on iHeartRadio. Just go to iHeart.com or your iHeart phone app. Search for The Entertainment Report, and it'll take you to the page. We got some breaking news coming in from Las Vegas, Nevada. Lamar Odom, the troubled NBA superstar who was married to reality star Khloe Kardashian, has been hospitalized after he became unconscious in Nevada, E! News has confirmed. The former Los Angeles Lakers basketball star checked into Dennis Hop's Love Ranch South, a brothel, on Saturday in the town of Pamprup, and was found unconscious in his room by a member of the staff Tuesday morning after days of partying. We've learned that the staff immediately called 911 and followed the emergency operator's instructions to put Odom on his side when he began spitting up liquid. E! News has learned that he was taking herbal Viagra during his stay at the ranch. However, it is not known if alcohol or drugs were in his room at the time that he was found. E! News has learned that an ambulance took Khloe Kardashian's ex-husband to the local hospital where doctors intubated him. Shortly thereafter, the 35-year-old was airlifted to a Las Vegas hospital to be treated. E! News has learned that he has not yet regained consciousness, and the prognosis does not look good for Odom. TMZ was the first to report the story. Back in 2013, less than a week after being arrested on suspicion of driving under the influence, Odom checked into a treatment facility near Los Angeles. Less than 24 hours later, he checked out of the facility. Khloe Kardashian has been open about her ongoing concerns for her ex-husband and most recently spoke to E! News about how Odom will always be important to her life. She told E! News earlier this year, "I will never ever not love Lamar. I was so obsessed with him in a healthy way. He was my husband and I still wish he was, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that." She continued by saying, "There's nothing I can do. Lamar has to do things in order to change in that aspect. But yeah, if I had my way, I'd be married to Lamar in 2 seconds." The reality star filed for divorce from Odom on December 13, 2013, after 4 years of marriage, citing irreconcilable differences as the reason for their split. The divorce was finalized on July 21, 2015. Here's an update on the condition of Lamar Odom. The Nye County Sheriff's Department released further details about Lamar Odom, including that he was stabilized and transported to Desert View Hospital, arriving at 4:16 p.m. Tuesday afternoon, but that despite previous reports, the athlete was not airlifted to a second hospital due to his stature. The 6'10" basketball player was subsequently transported via ambulance to a Las Vegas hospital. Nye County Sheriff's Office also confirmed that detectives conducted an investigation on the scene. And we'll definitely keep you up to date on the condition of Lamar Odom if anything appears. In some other news, Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders have barely mentioned each other on the campaign trail, but that all changed as the two squared off for the first time at the CNN debate at the Wynn Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada, Tuesday night. The two headliners dominated the Democratic debate, coming out swinging as they shared the stage with the trio of also-rans: former Maryland Governor Martin O'Malley, former Virginia Senator Jim Webb, and former Rhode Island Governor Lincoln Chafee. Vice President Joe Biden, who was still deciding whether to enter the race, was also invited but opted to sit it out. It took a good hour to get the most contentious issues in this year's presidential race: Clinton's use of a private email server during her years as Secretary of State. Clinton defended herself by saying the issue was drummed up by Republicans looking to take her down. Surprised, Clinton said sarcastically, "I'm still standing." But it was Sanders who scored the biggest points when he came to Clinton's defense. Sanders said to the thunderous applause, "Let me say something that may not be great politics, but I think that the Secretary is right. And that is that the American the public is sick and tired of hearing about your damn emails," adding, "Enough of the emails." Clinton shook Sanders' hand and thanked him. Tuesday's debate was moderated by Anderson Cooper, who was joined by CNN's chief political correspondent Dana Bash and CNN en Espanol anchor Juan Carlos Lopez, who added additional questions. Don Lemon posed questions submitted via social media. Asked about her shifting positions on various issues, including same-sex marriage and most recently the Pacific Trade Partnership Agreement, The Democratic frontrunner strongly denied that she changed her views to match the mood of voters. Clinton said, like most human beings, I do absorb new information. I do look at what's happening in the world. Asked specifically on why she changed her mind about the Pacific Rim trade deal she called a gold standard. While serving as Secretary of State, Clinton said it simply did not meet her standards. For her part, the former Secretary of State attacked Sanders on his votes against major gun control legislation, saying that he had not been tough enough on the NRA. Sanders defended himself by saying the bigger issue is providing better mental health services and stricter background checks. Donald Trump surprisingly didn't come up at all that much. His name was only mentioned in a passing as a quip from Clinton during a discussion about whether college tuition should be free for everybody, including the billionaire's Manhattan developers' kids. While Trump wasn't present, he made his presence felt by live blogging the event on Twitter. Trump tweeted at one point during the debate, "There's not a star on stage tonight." CNN may have been right to worry the Democratic debate wouldn't be as explosive as the first two GOP debates, which broke records, drew more than 23 million viewers each from CNN and Fox News. Donald Trump did not display his usual bombastic personality as he live-tweeted the first Democratic debate of the 2016 presidential campaign, but he still had plenty of criticisms. Trump started with the zingers before the CNN broadcast got underway, tweeting, "Putin is not feeling too nervous or scared. #ThemDebate," as the candidates gathered on stage. While he obviously had low expectations, the event featured Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders, Martin O'Malley, Lincoln Chafee, and Jim Webb underwhelmed Trump even more than expected. Trump tweeted, "Notice that illegal immigrants will be given Obamacare and free college tuition, but nothing has been mentioned about our veterans. #ThemDebate." During the debate, Trump's first target was naturally his chief rival, Clinton. He tweeted, "The trade deal is a disaster. She was always for it." As Anderson Cooper grilled the former Secretary of State on whether she flip-flops up for political expediency. Clinton remained a popular target through the debate. Trump tweeted, "The hardest thing Clinton has to do is defend her bad decision-making, including Iraq vote, emails, etc." Beyond that, the former Celebrity Apprentice host spent most of the time retweeting messages from his followers and fans. At one point, Trump seemed to give it up on following along on the topics being discussed and simply resorted by tweeting, "Sorry, there is no star on the stage tonight." Subsequently, Trump appeared to have signed off to do his own speech on the One America News Network, tweeting, "Wow, I am giving a speech on One America News. Much more exciting than debate. Check out One America News and compare to what you are watching now." The Republican presidential candidate is to be hosting November 7th edition of Saturday Night Live in New York when Sia will be the evening's music guest, NBC announced Tuesday. Trump is a frequent target on NBC's sketch comedy show. The season 41 episode premiered featuring a cold open in which Taron Killam played the real estate mogul as he defended some of his outrageous statements thus far in his campaign. Cicely Strong played Trump's wife Melania in the clip, which quickly went viral. Trump's political opponent, Democrat Hillary Clinton, played a chatty bartender in a separate sketch during the show's season premiere. Trump previously hosted SNL on April 3rd, 2004. He was the star of the networks The Apprentice and The Celebrity Apprentice until he made controversial remarks about illegal immigrants from Mexico and lost those gigs to actor and former California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger. Trump confirmed on his own Twitter account Tuesday that he would host SNL next month. He tweeted, "It was just announced I will be hosting Saturday Night Live on November 7th. Look forward to it." While actor Shia LaBeouf was being arrested for alleged public intoxication over the weekend, reports reveal he was also confrontational with officers, even calling one a silly man. According to a police affidavit reported by The Statesman, LaBeouf's speech was slurred and tick-tongue, and his eyes were glassy and dilated when he was confronted by authorities Friday. The actor opted to give a reason why officers should leave him alone, claiming authorities usually let him walk because police had killed a friend of his. While questioning the Transformers actor on a busy street in Austin, police reported LaBeouf became increasingly confrontational, aggravated, profane, and verbally aggressive. He reportedly called an officer a silly man several times as well. The affidavit says officers intervened with the Hollywood star when he became overly aggressive. The affidavit says officers intervened with the Hollywood star when he became overly aggressive. LaBeouf, 29, then told the officer to do whatever the fuck you gotta do. According to the reports, the actor was considered a danger to himself and others, and he was later released from the Travis County Jail. George R.R. Martin says a skin trade adaptation is in the works at Cinemax. The 67-year-old author revealed the news in a blog posted over the weekend. Martin released the werewolf noir novella as part of the Night Vision's 5 horror compilation in 1989, and the piece went on to win the year's World Fantasy Award. He wrote, "I'm very excited to announce Cinemax, HBO's sister company, has optioned the television rights to the skin trade. The deal is closed and Cinemax has ordered a pilot script. If they like the script, we'll shoot a pilot, and if they like it, hey, who knows, maybe we'll get a series on the air." Once Upon a Time writer Kalinda Vasquez will pen the script and co-executive produce with Martin, Vince Guedes, Paul Sansone, Rich Engel, Mark B. Neubauer, and Lisandro Cruz. The novella follows werewolf Willie Flambeau and private investigator Randy Wade as they discover the dark secret behind a series of murders. Martin lauded Kalinda's take on the story, and the characters blew me away. She loves the story and the world and really seems to get Willie and Randy, and her pitch to Cinemax was one of the most polished and professional I've ever heard. I love her enthusiasm and look forward to working with her. Martin is best known for his A Song of Ice and Fire book series, which HBO adapted as Game of Thrones. The author has yet to release the 6th novel, The Winds of Winter, while Game of Thrones will return for a 6th season in the spring of 2016. Alexa Pena Vega earned the first perfect score of the season on Monday night's episode of Dancing with the Stars. After previously getting prepped for elimination by dance partner Mark Ballas, Pena Vega met her new stand-in partner for Switch-Up Week, Derek Hugh, who was determined to get the actress back into the game. The new dancing duo teamed up for an intense tango routine that earned perfect scores, 40 out of 40, and a standing ovation from Judge Carol Ann Inaba. Judge Juliana Huff said the routine showcased Pena Vega as a natural, authentic, raw person, and Judge Bruno Tonlini remarked how the performance was a complete metamorphosis. Pena Vega's husband, Carlos Pena Vega, also dominated the dance floor, coming in second place with a score of 39 out of 40 for his high-energy quick-step with his pro partner of the night, Lindsay Arnold. Fan favorite Bindi Irwin rounded up the top 3. None of the participants went home on Monday. The contestants are now gearing up for an upcoming elimination week that will be determined based on their scores so far. On Thursday, former Dancing with the Stars contestant Kim Zolciak revealed that she would be undergoing heart surgery after having to leave the show due to health reasons. Caitlyn Jenner's mother Esther broke both hips and is recovering, the reality star revealed on social media this week. Alongside a photo of the two, the 65-year-old Jenner wrote her mother is doing great after the serious injury. The I Am Kate star added details: she's been mobile, she's tough. The photo features the younger Jenner standing over her smiling mother in what appears to be her home. Esther Jenner, 89, made frequent appearances on her daughter's E! television show as an avid supporter. She said, as quoted as saying the premiere episode of I Am Kate, "I love him with all my heart, and I certainly love her with all my heart." Still, the Jenner matriarch admitted she had so much to learn about her daughter's transition from male to female. She told People over the summer what Caitlyn did takes so much courage to do. She says, "When I first saw Caitlyn, all I wanted to do was give her a big hug. It takes some getting too used to. It's going to take some time, but I will adjust." In a related story, Khloe Kardashian responded to Amy Schumer's recent remarks about her weight on Twitter. The 31-year-old reality star appeared to hit back at the 34-year-old actress after Schumer said Kardashian was no longer a role model for young girls while hosting Saturday's episode of Saturday Night Live. Schumer declared during her opening monologue, "We have to be a role model for these little girls because what did they have? All they have literally is the Kardashians. And is that a great message for little girls? A whole family of women that take the faces they were born with as a light suggestion." The comedian continued, "We used to have Khloe. Khloe was ours, right? Whenever there's a group of women, you identify with one of them. Khloe, she lost half her body weight. She lost a Kendall. We have nothing, and I want good role models." Kardashian has lost 35 pounds thus far and often shares photos from the gym on social media. She revealed her slimmed-down frame on the August-September cover of Complex and later said on her website she shed the pounds on her own terms for her self-esteem. The reality star tweeted on Sunday after Schumer's episode, "No need to tear down others just to make yourself feel bigger." On Sunday after watching Schumer's episode. She also added, "It actually makes you quite small. I'm on a healthy journey. I don't care for the hate. Let's uplift one another. Happy Sunday. Stay smiling." English actress and Game of Thrones star Emilia Clarke has been named Esquire's Sexiest Woman Alive for 2015. The 28-year-old Game of Thrones star covered the November issue of the men's magazine Topless as she laid down on a luxurious bed with only a small blanket concealing her body. The magazine wrote in an accompanying article she manages to bring together a number of opposites to make them natural: sweetness and toughness, emotionalism with a kind of cold-blooded determination. Something in these contracts explains her sex appeal too. She can play queen and kid sister, dominatrix, and pal. In the cover story, Clarke opened up about the auditioning for Game of Thrones and how she originally did not fit the description of her character, Daenerys Targaryen. She said, "My agent told the casting director, I know that the breakdown for this character is tall and willowy and blonde. I know she's short and brown, but I like you to see her." Clarke recalled on trying out for the part. "I had 2 scenes which told me nothing and not very much time in which to read all the books. So I did what every good actor does and Wikipedia'd the living crap out of it." Clarke, of course, got the big part and has quickly become one of the biggest stars to come out of the hit HBO drama. When asked how she landed the role, Clarke replied, "They wanted someone who could grow before your eyes in one season, who could gather strength and show vulnerability. They wanted the arc." In September, Clarke was also named Woman of the Year by GQ magazine and was last seen over the summer as Sarah Connor in Terminator Genisys alongside Arnold Schwarzenegger. Amanda Bynes has returned to the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising after dropping out of class last August. The 29-year-old actress's family lawyer, Tamar Amarknik, confirmed the news to media outlets this week, adding that he and Bynes' family are so proud of her. Amarknik said, "We can't wait to see her amazing designs on the runway someday." Bynes originally enrolled at the Institute's Los Angeles campus in 2014 to pursue fashion design and later reportedly changed her major. She halted her attendance at the school during the fall of 2014 before her DUI arrest and later temporary psychiatric hold. In November 2014, the child star revealed on Twitter she had been diagnosed bipolar and manic depressive. She said, "I'm seeing my psychologist and psychiatrist weekly, so I'm fine." Most recently, Bynes was spotted on a shopping trip in West Hollywood, during which she sought asylum from paparazzi from inside a police station. Police told E! News at the time Bynes was concerned for her physical welfare and walked in on her own, leaving the station without an escort after receiving tips on how to avoid avid photographers. The American Music Award nominations revealed Taylor Swift as a top contender with 6 total nominations this year. Singer Ed Sheeran and The Weeknd both trailed Swift for a short at their first AMAs, taking second in the overall running with 5 nominations each. All 3 are up for Artist of the Year alongside country star Luke Bryan, Ariana Grande, Maroon 5, One Direction, Sam Smith, Nicki Minaj, and Meghan Trainor. Sam Hunt, Minaj, Smith, Trainor, and Bam Walk the Moon each earned 3 nominations each for an award this year. Jason Aldean, Chris Brown, Luke Bryan, Drake, and others trailed with 2. If crossover singer Swift wins in all categories she is nominated for, she will reportedly become the most honored female artist in American Music Award history. She was also nominated for Collaboration of the Year for Bad Blood, and her album 1989 is up along with Sheeran's X and Sam Smith's In the Lonely Hour for Best Album of the Year. Other nominations for Collaboration of the Year include Wiz Khalifa's See You Again featuring Charlie Puth, Rihanna and Kanye West's For 5 Seconds featuring Paul McCartney, Mark Ronson's Uptown Funk featuring Bruno Mars, and Skilla Rex and Diplo with What Are You Now featuring Justin Bieber. Alongside The Weeknd's Can't Feel My Face, Khalifa's See You Again, and Ronson's Uptown Funk, Swift's Blank Space, and Sheeran's Thinking Out Loud have all been nominated for Song of the Year. Fans have the opportunity to vote for their favorite artists in all 23 categories, not online at amavote.com, but also on social media by tagging their favorite artists in status, updates, and tweets in the hashtag @AMAs. ABC Network is bringing back television classic Fantasy Island with a couple of twists fitting for today's audience. According to Variety, the network partnered with Sony Picture Television to create the new series, not only with a female lead, but a fresh concept reminiscent of the original series' fictional island that people visit to live out their wildest dreams. Sheldon Turner penned the new version script, which focused on a more adult version of the Fantasy Island concept. According to Deadline, the new take centers on a brilliant, dynamic, and sexy woman who runs a San Francisco-based company that proves clients with his or her most intimate, dark, and outlandish fantasies. The new Fantasy Island will be executive produced by both Turner, Jennifer Klein, and Josh Berman. The series originally emerged onto the small screen after being created in the mid-1970s by Gene Levitt. It was the first a TV movie before morphing into a regular occurring television program starring the same actors, Ricardo Montalban and Hervé Villechaize, as hosts Mr. Rourke and Tattoo. The show was first rebooted in the 1990s, starring Malcolm McDowell, but soon flopped. Day Street Books, publishers of such memoirs as Amy Poehler's Yes Please and YouTube star Casey's I Am a Tool, has announced the upcoming release of singer Bobby Brown's memoir. According to a brief statement on the Day Street Books Tumblr page, the HarperCollins publishers will print My Prerogative, named after Brown's famous single. The announcement of the celebrity's upcoming book comes after his daughter Bobby Christina Brown's recent death. In the premiere episode of The Real, Brown recounted the months leading up to his 22-year-old daughter's death, saying, "We prayed and hoped for 6 months for something better to happen." He added, "But when God calls you, he calls you." I'm pretty sure his mother, Whitney Houston, had a part with, like, "Come on, let's get her up here." Brown's ex-wife, Houston, died in 2012 after drowning in a hotel bathtub. Bobby Christina was also found face down in a bathtub in January and was announced to have suffered from irreversible brain damage in April. The young celebrity was pronounced dead in July, 6 months after being found. Snapchat has decided to shut down its house original contender provider Snap Channel less than a year after it started producing its own videos, stories, and shows. Launched in January, Snap Channel, which can be found on the app's Discovery platform, was created in order for the social media company to create its own original programming, similar in nature to Netflix and other streaming services. Earlier this month, Snapchat removed the channel that housed programs such as Literally Can't Even and Vigaraland, with the promise that it would eventually return. Now, as Deadline reports, after careful examination, the company canceled any further plans with the channel and subsequently laid off the staff responsible for running it. This led to Snapchat's big hire, Marcus Wiley, Fox's former senior vice president of comedy, to send in his resignation. Snapchat said in a statement to Deadline, "Given that we are winding down the Snap Channel, it's natural that Marcus would want to explore other opportunities. He is a tremendous talent and we wish him well." Snapchat has not ruled out revisiting original programming in the future, but for now, the company will be relying on its ad-supported channels run by partners such as ESPN, CNN, and BuzzFeed for original content and news. Daredevil released a first Season 2 teaser trailer Monday. Marvel and Netflix shared the preview online after it leaked following New York Comic Con. The trailer sees Matt Murdock, played by Charlie Cox, aka Daredevil, reflect on his guilt and tease his future with Elektra, played by Elodie Young, and the Punisher, played by John Bernthal. New co-showrunner Doug Petrie said at the convention, "We love two things. One of them is Matt Murdock, and the other is the world that Matt Murdock navigates. With the Punisher and Elektra, we get to take it darker and further." Deborah Ann Woll, Edson Henson, and Rosario Dawson also appeared as Karen Page, Franklin Foggy Nelson, and Claire Temple, respectively. Vincent D'Onofrio co-stars as Wilson Fisk, with Elia Zulier as Vanessa Marina, and Toby Leonard Moore as James Wesley. Daredevil premieres on Netflix in April and will return for a second season in 2016. The series follows Murdock, a lawyer who gains superpowers after being blinded by a radioactive substance, as he fights crime in the Hell's Kitchen neighborhood of New York. Tracy Morgan has returned to stand-up after performing his first set since recovering from a deadly car crash back in June 2014. Morgan appeared on stage Monday night at the Comedy Cellar in New York City. The comedian appeared to have fully recovered from his injuries, as he was able to stand without the use of a cane. The 46-year-old is gearing up for his long-awaited return to television to host Saturday Night Live on October 17th with musical guest Demi Lovato. The 30 Rock star tweeted on a photo of himself on stage at the Comedy Club, writing, "My first time on stage in 16 months at the #Comedy Cellar." Pop stars Rihanna, Selena Gomez, and The Weeknd have been booked to provide the musical entertainment at this year's Victoria's Secret's fashion show. CBS announced Tuesday the lineup for the eagerly awaited event in New York City. The network will broadcast the Lingerie Runaway show on December 8th. And now let's look back at what happened on this date in entertainment history. On this date in 1957, Wake Up Little Susie became the Everly Brothers' first number one hit. Harmony singing was part of rock and roll right from the beginning, but the 3- and 4-part harmonies of doo-wop derived from black gospel and blues traditions would never have given us Simon and Garfunkel, the Beatles, or the Byrds. To get those groups, you first had to have the Everly Brothers, whose ringing, close harmony styles introduced a whole new sound into the rock and roll vocabulary. The sounds of Appalachia set to hard-driving acoustic guitars and a subtle backbeat rhythm. One of the most important and influential groups in the history of rock and roll, the Everly Brothers burst onto the music scene in 1957 with their first big hit, Bye Bye Love, which was quickly followed with their first number one song, Wake Up Little Susie, which topped the Billboard pop charts on this day in 1957. Don and Phil Everly began performing together professionally in 1945 at the ages of 8 and 6, respectively, on their family's live radio show out of Shenandoah, Iowa. The Everly family resettled to Knoxville, Tennessee in 1953, and 2 years later, 18-year-old Don and 16-year-old Phil began pursuing work as songwriters in Nashville. As a songwriting duo, they had very little success, and in their first try at making a record on their own, they couldn't even crack the lowest level of the country and western charts. A move to Cadence Records in 1957, however, changed the course of the Everly Brothers' career, bringing them into partnership with a production team that included legendary session man Chet Atkins and the songwriting team of Felice and Burrard O'Brien. Bye Bye Love was the first song by the Bryants to be recorded by the Everlys, establishing their trademark sound and peaking at number 2 on the charts in the summer of 1957. The follow-up single, Wake Up Little Susie, reached the top spot on October 14, 1957, though not without stirring controversy in some parts due to the lyrics that hinted at teenage sex. Literally banned in Boston at one point, the Everlys' first chart topper was taken at face value in most parts of the country as an insanely catchy song about two teenagers who have innocently fallen asleep at a movie only to be awakened at 4 a.m. in fear of having ruined their good reputations. The Everly Brothers would earn 25 top 40 hits over the first 5 years of their hugely influential recording career, including 2 more number ones, All I Have to Do Is Dream in 1958 and Kathy's Clown in 1960. Also on this date in 1994, Pulp Fiction debuts. The writer-director Quentin Tarantino's Pulp Fiction, a crime drama featuring a large ensemble cast including John Travolta, Uma Thurman, Samuel L. Jackson, Bruce Willis, and Harvey Keitel, opens in theaters. Made for less than $10 million, Pulp Fiction earned more than $100 million at the box office and was also a huge critical hit, winning the Palme d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival and earning 7 Academy Award nominations, including Best Picture. Tarantino and Roger Ebert shared the Oscar for Best Screenplay. Some critics have called Pulp Fiction, which spawned a slew of imitators, the most influential movie of its time. It contained such Tarantino trademarks as clever dialogue, graphic violence, and numerous pop culture references. The film is also credited with reviving the movie career of John Travolta, who, as the ponytailed hitman Vincent Vega, shared a memorable dance with his boss's wife, played by Uma Thurman, and famously discusses with his partner, played by Samuel L. Jackson, how in France a McDonald's quarter pounder with cheese is called a Royale with cheese. And that was your entertainment report for Wednesday, October 14th, 2015. I'm your host, Mr. Downtown Ray Mello. I'll be back tomorrow to deliver some major stories and trends going on in the world of entertainment and beyond. You can follow the show on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Facebook.com/The Entertainment Report with Ray Mello. That's RayMelo. On Twitter at The Enter Report, or on Instagram at The Entertainment Report. You can listen to the show anytime you want on iHeartRadio. Just go to iHeart.com or your iHeart phone app. Search for The Entertainment Report, and it'll take you to the page. Good night, and God bless you all.